Hey guys, welcome back. So this is going to be a shorter one, but I want to show you guys, sometimes there's benefits to aftermarket parts and sometimes there's downsides. And essentially it comes down to the people that are building the parts are not doing the proper engineering and they're not looking at all the details. There's a phrase that details matter. And let me show you a pretty important detail that's going to damn sure matter. So on a VVT Miata, you have all your cam caps. You have this one cap here that's special. This cap is the one that goes there. I'm just going to kind of click it in roughly. It goes right there. And you'll notice it's got this thing right here. When you put the valve cover on, this pokes through the valve cover and there's a, let me see if I can find it, right here. It pokes through the valve cover and it connects to this. So you'll see here, this is high pressure oil that comes from there, which comes to this, and it goes right down here to the block where you get high pressure oil. So essentially oil gets up to that solenoid and it can pass it through here. So let's see if I can find it. So there's a hole in the top, oil to go in one spot. You can see there's holes in the sides. Maybe there's 3 holes, but anyway, what it does is it sends oil to these 2 grooves. See those holes? Sorry, the focus sucks. But these 2 holes supply oil into the camshaft, which then travels, let me show you. These are those 2 holes. This will make perfect sense when you see this. Let me get this part in here. There we go. You can really see what I'm talking about. So we can see that oil hole lines up with that back groove. That oil hole lines up with the front groove. And as it's rotating, you can imagine this hole, no matter where it's at, it's always in a groove. So there's a hydraulic circuit being connected from this groove to the hole here, from that groove to the hole here. Those holes feed into these holes down here. And so like this hole goes to here. This back hole, this basically they drill this. So you can see this drill goes straight through and it connects there. And what this does is it puts oil coming out in certain spots right here. I don't have the cam gear for reference, but the cam gear bolts to the face of this. And depending on whether you put oil here or here, it'll move the cam gear this way or that way. So this isn't just for lubricating the bearing. It does lubricate the bearing because this is a cam bearing, but it's actually kind of its primary function is actually to control the hydraulic flow to adjust the VVT cam gear. Why does this matter? Let me show you. Prepare for sadness. These are the nice cams, or what I thought were the best cams. I'm going to click this in here. Now let's have a look. There's the front hole. And we can tell that doesn't look very good. Get some light going real quick. Maybe that'll help. Yeah. So you can see a little bit of the hole is, but not much, and most of it's blocked. And let's look at this back one. It's more obvious on this one. You can see that most of that hole probably, see if that'll stay put. There we go. Try to zoom in a little bit. A lot of that hole is getting blocked. Well over half of it's getting blocked by that. See if we can get a better view of the front one here. Yeah, kind of same story. So there is a connection, but it's being severely restricted. And that's pretty unfortunate because what I noticed was these holes were smaller compared to the factory camshafts. Let me get a good side-by-side here. It's pretty obvious. Those are not the same size holes. And I caught that and I was like, huh, that's surprising. I wonder why they did that. And then I thought, well, it's probably big enough that it doesn't matter. But then the location was different too. And at the time I was like, I don't know if that matters, but I just mentally made a note. I said, I'm going to check and see if that matters because I wasn't sure at the time what these were for. But once I looked at the cam cap, it was obvious that, oh yeah, these are 2 separate hydraulic circuits. And if they're in different places, I was like, uh-oh. And sure enough, uh-oh is the correct reaction. So those don't line up. So that's unfortunate. Now, as I mentioned in a previous video, it took over a year to get this cam, and then it was wrong, and then I had to send it back. And then it took like, I want to say between 4 and 6 months to get it back the second time. So essentially it took over a year and a half to get this cam. And at this point, the lobes seem okay. That's kind of questionable, but I can probably make it work or something. That's something that I could make myself if I had to, so I'm not too worried about it. I can't make these, but I could make that piece pretty easy. That sucks that that's machined wrong. Now the good news is, I can fix this. I shouldn't have to fix this. but I can. All I would have to do is basically drill or take a Dremel and move that hole, like basically turn this circle into an oval and just move it this way some. And then same thing with this one over here, move it in the correct direction. Because this is going to be following the cam as it goes around. So I can save this, but it's kind of stupid that I would have to do that to a brand new part. So if I do choose to use these cams, I will have to modify this because I don't want to deal with that problem. So anyway, these are the kind of things that when you start putting aftermarket parts in a car and you have these weird problems that like for example, you might try to tune your VVT and it just seems to be unstable, or maybe the behavior when it's cold versus hot is hard to, tune, or like it seems to like it's unstable, it jumps around when it's cold or something. Crap like this can cause it because you're changing the design. You can imagine Mazda put these big ass holes in these big ass grooves because it doesn't change much. These wide open flow paths have very little restriction. If I put this thing on here like this, I got small holes, so the hole's already small and it's being blocked. That's going to be a huge restriction in oil flow, and that's definitely going to change the behavior, and we don't need that. So we're not going to, you can see here like they were thinking about flow when they did that. That's huge. It's probably overkill, but that's how you design stuff if you're an OEM. You design stuff to where you know it's good. You don't have to worry about it. So anyway, thought I'd show you guys that. We're going to fix that in a little bit. Anyway, till next time, y'all take it easy.